Morning, guys. The quorum of the Board of Governors of Uplift Education is present. I hereby call this meeting to order. We are at 1825 Market Center Boulevard. It's November 6th, 2019, and the time is 8:07 a.m. If the Board of Governors could please go around and introduce themselves, that'd be great. We'll start with you, Cam.
Cameron Johnson, board member.
Dawn Mann, board member.
Ardo Fuentes, board member.
Richard Breitbart, vice chair.
David Giddens, board counsel for the expulsion appeal of Scholar J.D.
Brian Moss, Board Member.
Alex Burke, Chief Legal Officer of Uplift Education and Hearing Officer on the expulsion appeal of Scholar J.D.
Jordan Pratt, high school dean.
Terrific. Thanks, guys. This special meeting has been called to hear the expulsion hearing appeal of Scholar J.D. The board will hear this appeal in open session. The family is not here. And so ordinarily, the way this process would go is we would hear the session, the hearing in open session. The procedures would be that the family would have 15 minutes to present its expulsion appeal to the board, and then the administration would have 15 minutes to present its arguments for upholding the expulsion of the scholar. Since the family has declined to attend, we will obviously not hear from the family, but we'd still like to hear from the administration. With that, maybe turn it over to you, and we'll ask questions along the way, if that's okay.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, sir. Good morning, Board of Governors. As you all know, my name is Alex Burke. I'm the Chief Legal Officer for Uplift Education. Unique this morning is I serve as the hearing officer on the expulsion of Scholar J.D., the recommended expulsion for Scholar J.D. So I am here this morning sitting with administration, not serving in my capacity as Chief Legal Officer. As Board Chair Moss mentioned a minute ago, the mother of Scholar J.D. emailed me last night, or first thing this morning, and notified me that they would not be attending the meeting this morning. I am joined today by Jordan Pratt, who is Dean out at Mighty High School. For background purposes, Scholar J.D. Was an 11th grade scholar at Uplift Mighty High School. He was recommended for expulsion, and I upheld the expulsion for, as stated in the board-approved student code of conduct, inciting violence against a scholar through bullying. It's important to note at the outset that the decision to recommend the expulsion of J.D. and certainly informing my decision to hold the expulsion of Scholar J.D. was his, what we can certainly call significant disciplinary history, which you can see in the record in front of you. So to quickly move through the record, the bullying incident in question, the events went like this. On October 17, 2019, the bullying victim, Scholar J.R., was in a bathroom stall at Mighty High School. Scholar J.D. And two other scholars, their initials J.J. and B.C., were in the restroom as well. Scholar J.D. And Scholar J.J. went up to the stall and started shaking the stall, both of them shaking the doors, the walls. Scholar B.C., he had his phone out and was recording the events from over the top of the stall. If that was not enough, Scholar J.J. then stole the victim's backpack, ran from the bathroom, and hid the backpack in the classroom. And of course, the whole time, as noted in the record and statements, the boys were laughing. These events were all described by Scholar P.N., again, initials, who was also in the bathroom at the time and witnessed the entire event. You can find Scholar P.N.'s statement under Exhibit F, which is on page 23 of the record. If you turn back to page 17 of the record, you will find a report submitted to campus administration by interventionist Dora Brunson pertaining to the bullying incident, reporting the bullying incident. Ms. Brunson is very familiar with the victim here, Scholar J.R., as J.R. is one of her scholars. Ms. Brunson, in her report, notified administration.
We're here for a board meeting.
Sure. For which,
Tony Walker.
that's for Board
Board Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So y'all can wait on the call, or you're certainly welcome to wait since over here. We went ahead and waited in case you showed up and you might not. So you'll be out for this hearing that we have, but also.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, I'm sorry, back to where I was. Ms. Brunson, Dora Brunson, reported to campus administration that she observed J.R. Looking, quote, very agitated. And she notes that J.R., because again, J.R. is one of her scholars, she knows J.R. well, has a history of grabbing his chest, has difficulty breathing, and needs to see the nurse when he is in such an agitated state. She goes on to say in the report, again, it's on page 17 of your record, that while she was interviewing JR, while she was trying to determine what happened, what the backpack was, etc., the three boys just stood there, including the scholar issue today, JD, and they just stood there and laughed. Eventually, JR ran off, and according to Ms. Brunson, was very angry and very upset. In addition to this incident that she was reporting about, she also noted, Ms. Brunson also noted, that she was going to be writing a separate campus referral for Scholar JD because in a separate incident that morning, Scholar JD had cussed her out when she was looking into a separate incident. If you will please turn to page 18 of the record, you will find our victim JR's witness statement. In that, he states that Scholar JD and the other boys were in the boys' restroom. They, quote, were playing like usual, and that they took his backpack. Now, Dean Pratt and Dean Pratt's investigation into the alleged bullying incident found the words playing like usual odd given the circumstances that I have described to you this morning. He met with JR in a follow-up interview. The notes on that interview can be found on page 19. In that interview, Scholar JR told Dean Pratt that when he, JR, says playing like usual, that means to him jumping, making funny noises, take my stuff, and shaking the stall door. JR also told Dean Pratt that he remembered one of the scholars probably recording him, and that the physical reaction he had, the one noted by Ms. Brunson, the very agitated reaction, quote, only happens when I get scared or my fears. And if it happened again, it will be helpful for him to have quiet time, take his glasses off, put his hoodie over my head, not talk to anyone, and drink of water. So based on the events and statements we have, there is no question that this was a significant episode of not just bullying, but group bullying. If you turn to Exhibit E, page 11, you will see Uplift's policy on bullying prevention and intervention, which is included in and a part of, again, the board-approved student code of conduct. You'll see under section 12.2 that Scholar JD's conduct clearly meets the definition of bullying. Under 12.3, you will see examples of bullying, which we certainly have here. Here are a couple: taunting, teasing, confinement, assault, which I would certainly argue happen here, and theft of valued possessions. Importantly, this is in fact the second episode of bullying that Scholar JD has engaged in against JR. The first one having occurred in November of 2018. Documentation regarding that bullying incident can be found under Exhibit H, starting on page 46. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Jamarian has a significant disciplinary history. I'm not going to go through all of the documentation in the record in front of you. Suffice it to say that the record contains 13 different situations of misconduct over the last few years. These include things like cursing at staff, cursing at students, fighting, disrupting classrooms, and threatening others, and significantly disrupting the classroom and school environment, as well as numerous placements in out-of-school suspension and in-school suspension. So given all of this that we have presented this morning, campus administration, Dean Pratt, and his team at Uplift Mighty High School found Scholar JD to have violated the Scholar Code of Conduct for engaging in, quote, extreme bullying, and to have incited violence against a scholar through group bullying, and that such misconduct warranted expulsion under 10.2 of expellable offenses. The definition for extreme bullying, as well as the expellable offenses themselves, can be found under Exhibit J, starting on page 128. If there are any questions for myself or Dean Pratt, I'm certainly happy to entertain any questions that you may have. If not, that is our presentation.
Questions for Alex or Dean Pratt? Okay. Is there a motion to uphold the expulsion of Scholar JD?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion is approved. Thanks, everybody. At this time, I guess the administration will notify the scholar and his family of our decision.
Yep.
It is 8:19 on November 6th, and we are adjourned. Oh, because we have to stay in.
Correct.
We're still.
Yeah.
Okay, we won't
Yes.
have a, got it, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
You were just taking the part.
I was just gonna.
I said that's great.
Okay, so,
I'm gonna go and get
great.
So now we're back in front of the.
We're back to the front of the materials.
Alex and I will see you soon.
Yeah, just good. Yeah, but so you kind of, it's all just.
So y'all can help.
So you know what would be good is if you went back, Tracy, so she's, sorry, no Tracy, she's made. Yeah, that would be great. If y'all have questions, just let me know. I'll take care of it. Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
St. Mark's. One of my brothers, really good friends. My brother went to St. Mark's, they're the same year. Yeah, he and my brother go way back. Just give me 1 second. It's all good. So this is this. Hello, sir. Got it. It's going to be the exact same screen. It's just how got it.
Conference. That's an educated restorative practice.
Perfect timing, huh? Yeah, you did good. Good to see you.
Welcome to our presentation. We'll have y'all.
We can squeeze. We can squeeze.
I'll get some more. Let me get some more chairs. Yep.
Yeah, y'all squeeze down some guys.
for everybody for joining. We are still in open session, just so everybody knows, just for the record specific to this appeal. We are hearing the expulsion appeal of student GJ. Just so you guys know, we'll be using initials. It's on the record to protect the identity of the student. It is 8:23 on November 6th. We are at 1825 Market Center Boulevard. We'll go around and introduce ourselves. I'll start. My name is Ryan Moss. I'm Chairman of the Board of Governors. Cam, we go to you.
Cameron Johnson, board member.
Dawn Mann, board member.
Ardo Fuentes, board member.
Richard Fightford, Vice Chair.
Alex Burke, Chief Legal Officer for Uplift Education.
David Giddens, attorney representing the administration for the appeal of the expulsion for student GJ.
Wesley Klein, Administrator, Mighty Middle.
Brandon Watts, Hearing Officer for GJ.
William Stubbs, Managing Director for Middle Schools, specifically Mighty.
So the way this works is under Section 551082 of the Texas Government Code. We can either hear this session, this appeal in open session or closed session, and that is entirely up to you guys. The difference is in open session, the video will roll the whole time. Anybody can come and go. If you want it in closed session, we can turn the video off, and it will not be open to the public. And it's really up to you guys as to how you'd like that.
The video going. So everything is recorded. It's what's being said. So you don't want to hear what's being said.
Open the phone.
Okay, and just to be sure, when it's open, it's on video and it will be posted to the website, just so that you guys know. All of our public meetings have to be posted to the website. Don't want anybody to miss.
No, we want it closed.
You want it closed? Okay. Okay, thanks for your patience. I hereby call the open meeting reopened at 9:18. I note the same quorum of the board is present. No decision was made by the board during closed session. The board will now consider to take action on the expulsion appeal of Scholar GJ. Is there a motion to uphold the expulsion of Scholar GJ?
Yes, so moved to uphold the expulsion, but we would like to make one caveat that to amend the expulsion only through the end of this school year, rather than through the next school year. Just given all the comments back and forth, we wanted to allow that for him to re-enroll a year from now.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Thank you, everybody. I hereby adjourn the meeting. It is 9:19. Thank you for your time this morning.